How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is David Fritz, and in this video you can learn exactly how to produce tech house like Vade. After you've watched this whole video from the beginning until the end, you're going to learn a lot of production techniques, what I've been using as well for my productions on Spotify, how to release your tracks with record labels, so make sure to check it out completely. So what's really typical for Vade's music is that his tracks are very bass heavy, like really almost like a filthy bass sound. But what I've realized in his past productions as well, that he's using a lot of organic instruments like a trumpet loop, or he's using some other saxophone loops or whatever that might be, and also Spanish vocals as well. So let's start the project with this specific trumpet loop. So I cut it a few times so it makes a little bit of sense in the playlist, and added a bit of reverb on the channel 20. And now we want to add just a kick and the bass, because this is how his tracks are organized. So let's use this specific pivot kick. I added a bit of saturation as well. Now let's write the bass line of this track. Very bass heavy, so I found this specific preset which makes a lot of sense. It's like two sine waves, the one is a little bit changed. Let's see how it looks like in 3D. This is how the preset looks like. I'm gonna put all the presets and all the samples as well in the project file. You can download and buy this one for yourself, and then you can use it for yourself if you want to do something with that. Together, it sounds like this. And now here at bar 17, we can introduce now the hi-hats and the claps. Let's look for a good hi-hat or top loop. So I found this drum loop on Splice. But I want to add an extra hi-hat layer or something very aggressive. And another clap layer as well, actually. One of the most important production techniques what every house music producer should do is using layering properly, because you can listen to this now. If I don't use the second layer of a hi-hat and the clap, if I mute those, it sounds really weak. By the way, if you are now interested in learning house music production more in detail, I'm offering one-on-one coaching sessions with all the people who want to know more about house music production, tech house, mixing, mastering, music theory, whatever you want to improve on, because I can imagine that it's quite difficult to watch all the YouTube tutorials and try to improve as much as possible, but the progress is really slow and you need someone who actually can guide you through the whole process, who's done this himself. And that's exactly why I'm offering those one-on-one coaching sessions. To know more about this, go in the link in the description and message me private over Instagram. We can talk a little bit about your goals and see exactly what we can do and how I can help you with achieving your next music production career goals. And now let's add some Spanish vocal on the second part of this drop. So I found those Spanish vocals here. I've been using them in one of my other tracks, which is called Suave, but I found those ones and I think they make a lot of sense.
El van quererme, no pueden tenerme. Es divertente jugar, no sé firmarlo.
Pitch them up 2 semitones.
El van quererme, no pueden tenerme. Es divertente jugar, no sé firmarlo.
Okay, now let's add a little breakdown for the track. So we want the hi-hats and everything else still play, but we want to take the energy away. How we take an energy away is by creating automations clips, for example, decreasing the volume or adding a low pass filter to the hi-hats. Everything we gotta do literally is just to go on our drum bus and then double click on this knob here, create automation clip, and then we're gonna have this drum bus automation in the playlist.
No sé firmarlo, no sé firmarlo.
You can hear. Taking energy away, and now we add a riser here and like create a build up again. But I want the trumpet loop still to play where the breakdown is. Let's add a snare roll and a riser, and I want also for the breakdown another extra synth pad loop to make it more interesting. This is now my own touch, what I'm going to give to this Vade track. I came up with those chord progressions. And together it sounds like this. By the way, if you want to get this specific template where basically all the channels in the playlist already assigned, vocal 1 to 4, specifically for house music, if you want to save yourself all the time by not having to load up, assigning every channel, coloring everything, there's also master automation already installed in this, and I have my personal ready to go mixing chains with 50 channels that are already assigned with ready to go mixing chains, my vocal chains with high pass low pass filter from Fruity Loops, also saturation knob, which is a free plugin, sound codizer. If you want to get this specific template to save yourself heaps of time by not having to load up every single plugin yourself, purchase the template right now for under $10 on tunebed.com. It's going to save you all the time, all the hassle of like not having to do this every single time yourself. Let's add the vocals again in the second part of the drop here. I want to add like a ride, something which plays like really nice in the background. It basically all comes down to sound selection. What sounds are you using, and then a bit of mixing obviously, but to be honest, if the sounds are matching perfectly with each other, you don't need to do a lot of mixing. The mixing just brings out the last 10-20% out of it. But if you're choosing the right sounds, it's going to sound like Vale, it's going to sound like Fisher, whatever you want to do. Also make sure to check out this video where I'm explaining exactly how to produce tech house like James Hype. It's a really easy tutorial. It's going to make your life really ezy for you. Because there's not much of a transition between the drop and the breakdown, we need to add some sort of riser before the breakdown starts and also a downfall to make it more cohesive and making more sense. Then we can add a crash at the breakdown. Let's look for a crash. So I'm going to polish this project now, do a bit of mixing, and then let's listen to the end product.